Picture this: you've just inherited a sizable retirement account from a family member, a financial cushion meant to secure your future. But in 2025, a major overhaul in the rules could leave you scrambling to avoid a hefty IRS penalty if you don't act before the year ends. It's a game changer for beneficiaries, and one that demands your immediate attention. But here's where it gets controversial: is this shift truly protecting heirs, or is it just another way for the tax authorities to tighten their grip on inherited wealth? Stick around, because understanding these changes could save you thousands, and we'll break it all down step by step to make it crystal clear for beginners. Let's dive into the heart of the matter. As of 2025, specific non-spouse heirs, think adult children and others in similar situations, are now obligated to begin taking required minimum distributions, or RMDs for short, each year while they work through emptying out the inherited individual retirement account, IRA, within a decade. This stems from fresh IRS guidelines rolled out in 2024, which clarify that these annual withdrawals are mandatory during the 10-year depletion period. For newcomers to this topic, RMDs are essentially the minimum amounts you must pull out from certain retirement accounts to satisfy tax rules, preventing you from letting the money grow tax-deferred forever. This evolution in regulations coincides with what's being dubbed the Great Wealth Transfer, a massive shift where over $100 trillion is projected to pass to heirs by 2048, per a December report from Cerulli Associates. A significant chunk of this fortune will likely flow from parents to grown-up kids, underscoring the need for savvy tax planning. Financial pros emphasize that, based on your personal tax circumstances, it might even make sense to drain these accounts faster than the IRS mandates to dodge unnecessary tax burdens down the line. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of who exactly needs to comply with these 2025 RMD rules and how to steer clear of penalties. Since 2020, many inherited accounts have fallen under the 10-year rule, requiring beneficiaries to fully withdraw the funds by the end of the 10th year following the original owner's passing. And this is the part most people miss: the 10-year rule, paired with the new RMD obligation, targets most non-spouse beneficiaries, such as adult children, provided the IRA owner had already hit the age for RMDs before their death. For those unfamiliar, the 10-year rule basically sets a countdown clock, ensuring the account doesn't linger indefinitely and incur penalties for non-compliance. Kristen McKenna, a certified financial planner and president of Darrow Wealth Management in Needham, Massachusetts, notes that a vast majority of her clients fit into this 10-year framework, having endured years of ambiguity surrounding RMDs. Prior to the IRS's clarifications last year, it wasn't crystal clear if those yearly withdrawals were required amid the 10-year payout. Consequently, the IRS graciously waived penalties for overlooked RMDs on inherited IRAs across several years. But come 2025, the rules are firm: designated heirs must initiate annual RMDs, or risk a 25% penalty on the sum they neglected to withdraw. And this is where things get really interesting. Some might argue this penalty is unfairly steep, potentially burdening grieving families with extra financial stress. Yet, there's a silver lining: you can slash that penalty down to 10% by pulling out the correct RMD amount within 2 years and submitting Form 5329. In certain scenarios, the IRS might even erase the fee altogether. Denise Appleby, CEO of Appleby Retirement Consulting and a leading IRA expert, shared with CNBC that a lot of clients are getting that excise tax waived by promptly addressing the shortfall, completing the form, and offering a solid rationale. It's a reminder that proactive steps can often mitigate the fallout. Even if RMDs aren't on your radar for 2025, remember that virtually all heirs must still clear out the account within those 10 years. Without smart planning, you could end up with a massive tax bill in year 10, which experts warn against. For instance, consider playing the income tax bracket game, a strategy championed by CFP Marianela Collado, CEO of Tobias Financial Advisors in Plantation, Florida, and a member of CNBC's Financial Advisor Council. She explains that by withdrawing funds earlier, during periods when your overall income is lower, you can slot those distributions into less taxed brackets, potentially saving big. Imagine this: if you're in a year with reduced earnings due to a career shift or sabbatical, pulling money then could mean it fits into a 12% tax bracket instead of a higher 22% or 24% one, avoiding unnecessary spikes in your tax liability. Collado, who's also a certified public accountant, adds that there might be room to fill up the lower brackets when your income dips temporarily. Of course, it's not that simple. You have to weigh the downsides, like how bumping up your income might cause certain tax benefits to fade away, such as those tied to the tax reforms from former President Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Bill. McKenna from Darrow Wealth Management points out that there are so many things to think about when deciding the timing of these withdrawals, stressing the importance of a thorough, personalized review. In wrapping this up, the 2025 changes to inherited IRAs bring both clarity and complexity, potentially sparking debate on whether the rules empower heirs or complicate an already emotional process. Is the 10-year rule a fair compromise between enjoying inherited wealth and preventing tax evasion, or does it unfairly rush beneficiaries into decisions that could cost them more in taxes? And what about the idea of depleting accounts early? Is it always the wisest move, or could it lead to regrets in leaner financial times? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with the new RMD requirements, or do they seem overly punitive? Share your opinions in the comments below. Let's discuss.